Hey folks, welcome back. I just wanted to do a real quick video here just to kind of share a little bit of a thought that I've been kind of thinking about making a video about, which is the truth behind the scenes in the psychedelic therapy world. I want to just make this a short video and just kind of convey a couple of these points here because I know I'm trying to make long form content. I will probably be doing a video at some point soon about kind of more of the set of misconceptions around psychedelic therapy versus the reality of the real experience, because I know a lot of you are probably curious about it. It's a bit of a mysterious kind of industry that's quasi-legal or legal in some place, yada, yada, right? It's mysterious. So I'll be doing another video about that in the near future, but just for the time being, for this video, I wanted to just kind of offer you a little peek behind the curtain of how it actually is amongst the people working in the psychedelic therapy world, right? So a lot of what we see online these days about psychedelic therapy, there's all this marketing and there's all this kind of like onboarding of big science and big pharma and the medicalization of it, and this kind of like rushing in of authority figures into the psychedelic therapy space. And I think there's kind of oddly a weird codependent win-win thing here where psychedelics have needed some legitimization in the kind of mainstream eyes, and we need scientists and doctors and people like that to kind of bring that gravitas and that legitimacy. But at the same time, a lot of these people, especially dealing with these big therapeutic questions, part of the reason they're so excited about psychedelics is because they have not had a good track record of success with a lot of these areas. The psychedelic science is very promising. They're excited about it, right? So that's kind of the forward-facing thing you see when you're looking at the psychedelic therapy world is, oh, there's doctors involved and psychiatrists, and it's very official now, and there's a lot of science behind it, and there's all these slick presentations and, all that stuff, conventions and all that stuff, right? And the appearance is that these doctors are expert in this topic, that they are highly trained, that there is a known way to do psychedelic therapy, and that they're all, up to speed and ready to go. And this is all highly professional now, right? That's really not at all the case behind the scenes, right? So if you peel back the curtain with me here and you start talking to people who are practitioners in the space, the first thing to understand is there's a wide variety of practitioners, both in the style and the approach that they're coming from, i.e., are they a shaman, right? Are they highly traditional in their approach? Are they coming from like a true psychedelic therapy approach? Are they more like a medical doctor who's now giving ketamine? There's a whole wide range of approaches, right? And there's also a wide range of competencies and skill levels, right? And this is really important to understand that there are people in the psychedelic therapy landscape who have been doing this for 50 years and are elders and are brilliant and highly honed, but those people are very rare. And they're often teachers and role models in this. A lot of those people, even who, let's say they were psychedelic therapists from the 70s, they're looking at indigenous teachers and indigenous elders who are truly experts, who are running ceremonies every week, right? And have been for their entire lives. It's part of their lived culture, right? Then there are people kind of downstream from this who are underground practitioners who've been doing this 10, 20 years, who are also highly skilled. And then we have these doctors, right? So where do these doctors fit in? A lot of these doctors are brand new to psychedelic therapy. A lot of them have only had a handful of psychedelic experiences themselves, if any at all. They haven't been doing it for years. They're not deeply familiar with these substances and how they impact them. They're not familiar with the different models of therapy and approaches to working with these medicines, even non-therapeutic models like guide work and shamanic work. And so I'm kind of rambling a bit here, but all of this is to say that the forward-facing presentation of these expert doctors, a lot of them are very new to the medicines, really don't know what they're doing, are really, quite frankly, looking at the shamans and the indigenous communities or the people who have been doing underground work for decades for guidance on how to go about doing this, right? And then, but yet the underground people, right? Which is another way of saying this. Sorry, I'm kind of a little over the place here. Another way of saying this is the underground people, their skill set is so much more advanced than what we see being presented, in terms of these clinics, like the ketamine clinics or the psilocybin. A lot of these psilocybin retreats that have popped up recently, or these kind of like new school practitioners, a lot of them are very new, right? Less than 5 years into their medicine experience. These underground practitioners, a lot of them, they're like leaps and bounds in terms of their understanding beyond that. And then these underground practitioners, as amazing as they are, a lot of times they're, again, being mentored by these indigenous elders. And so all of this is to say that, psychedelic therapy is very new and very young. And just because you find a doctor and it's above board, or a psychiatrist who's like, yeah, I can kind of prescribe you psilocybin, or I can work with you around that, doesn't mean they really know what they're doing when it comes to working with the medicine, or that they have the right kind of mental models or conceptual understandings and frameworks to properly engage you and support you around using the medicine. A lot of these people are just trying to figure it out themselves. And, there's also the issue here, and again, I'll do a longer video about this, of, these different approaches to psychedelics, many of which are non-therapeutic, right? So there are a lot of different ways to use psychedelics, and not all of them are therapy, right? So there's actually a psychedelic therapy thing that is a distinct skill set, which is different from shamanism and guide work, which is different from like a medicalized, just giving someone a big dose of a psychedelic and putting them under blindfolds and keeping them safe and letting them have their own experience. These are all very different ways of going about working with these medicines, right? Which is to say that if you're someone who is, shopping around, kind of considering psychedelic therapy, curious about it, desirous of it, wanting to have these experiences, I think it's really important for you to understand all of these nuances, right? In terms of above ground versus underground, the different levels of competency. And just because someone has a lot of gravitas as a doctor or as a psychiatrist does not mean that they have competency with these medicines. And understand that even in the underground, some of these people are highly skilled. Some of these people are total, fake shamans, quack shamans that are also brand new to psychedelics. Some of them have been doing this their entire lives and are true geniuses at this work, right? The other thing I want you to get is that all these different approaches yield different outcomes. And so, don't necessarily go to a shaman if you need therapy. Don't necessarily go to a therapist if you need spiritual healing, right? Don't necessarily go to a psychiatrist in a ketamine clinic if what you want is a deep, profound, meaning-filled, guided, help you unpack it kind of thing, because all they're going to do is administer the medicine, watch over you, and then kind of help you on your way. And it's going to be much more hands-off. So that's it for the video. I don't want to make it too long here, but I just want to kind of like let you guys know that behind the scenes, the people who appear to be the experts are often actually the students who are not at all expert at this skill set. The people who are actually truly the experts are underground. A lot of them don't have a public facing thing. A lot of them aren't even really that involved in MAPS, although there are a lot of underground practitioners who are. And then a lot of that is also connected into these indigenous kind of ancient historic practices as well. So food for thought on that. Just thought I'd share just to kind of illuminate a little bit. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Does this resonate? Is this helpful? Did you already know this? Yada, yada. I'll be making more videos about this. But also, if I'm going to be frank with you, I'm not sure with you as an audience. I have about 1,000 of you now, tiny channel here. I'm not sure how many of you are interested in the psychedelic therapy side of things versus just the general self-healing, therapeutic understanding side of things versus the seeking spiritual side of things versus the personal, I've kind of like created such a big conversation here and such a large set of things to reference. I don't know what you guys are interested in. So let me know down below if this topic of psychedelic therapy in specific hits home for you, if this is something that's on your mind or on your heart or something you want to hear more about, because I need to know whether or not you want more videos about this. All right. Much love. I hope you guys are doing well. I've got to go help with a client right now, and I will see you soon in another video. Take care.